Hello guys, welcome back to Anime Moments. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start explanation. As Chen Long rushed forth, Ling Qianho's sword energy gathered in his hand. The sword energy circled around his hand and then a pressure spread out. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. He had already noticed that there was something wrong with the ray of Ling Qianho's sword energy that belonged to Chen Long. At the moment the sword energy appeared, Wang Lin immediately felt his heart tighten. This is Ling Qianho's life sword energy, very powerful. Zhu Yi's voice entered Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he stopped moving. He no longer chased after the token and held back the celestial spell in his hand as he coldly looked at Chen Long. Chen Long was extremely flashy and suddenly appeared next to the token. His eyes were filled with joy. He didn't know what it was, but for it to be something even Greed cared so much about, it had to be a rare treasure. However, just as he reached out toward the token, Greed's angry roar came from within the mosquito herd. "Junior Chen Long, this old man will kill you. Death Devourer third style." Greed's voice was like lightning. It seemed to turn solid as it went through the mosquito herd, passed by Wang Lin, and charged directly at Chen Long. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and he immediately retreated a few steps. The roar charged out from the mosquito herd and began to take form. Suddenly, a crystal-clear small person appeared in the air. This person didn't look like Greed at all, but his body gave off Greed's aura. Second origin soul. Wang Lin sucked in a breath of air as he stared at the small person. Greed was so angry that his anger was enough to burn his heart. He was helpless, so he could only send out his second origin soul while his main body was trapped by the mosquito herd. The 7 needles rapidly rotated around him. They could guard him for a bit, but not for too long. These mosquitoes' bodies were extremely tough, especially their mouths, which were as hard as iron essence. If that was only the case, it wouldn't be too bad, but whenever a mosquito was killed, they would immediately collapse into a red cloud. The red cloud would retreat and instantly condense back into a mosquito beast. Although it would be weaker, it would once again fiercely pounce at him. After this small person appeared, he immediately turned into a ray of light. His hand formed a seal and black lightning began to appear around his body. Then the black lightning moved like meteors toward Chen Long. Chen Long's expression changed. If he didn't withdraw his right hand, he would be hit by the black lightning. However, everything would have been in vain if did. Going to risk it? Chen Long clenched his teeth and threw out Ling Qianho's sword energy. The sword energy flew through the air and shook the heavens and earth. Even the cliff of the abyss rumbled under the might of the sword energy. Endless gravel and soil fell from the cliff. The lightning bolts released by Greed's second origin soul touched the sword energy and collapsed one by one. Powerful force was scattered in all directions. The life seals appeared over Wang Lin's body as he backed up, but his eyes were bright like a torch. After releasing his master's sword energy, Chen Long seized the token without any hesitation. His eyes were filled with ecstasy. He immediately flew upwards, wanting to escape. Greed's second origin soul let out a roar and wanted to chase. However, Ling Qianho's sword energy was simply too strong, and it even contained Chen Long's divine sense, so it was easily controlled. The sword energy repeatedly blocked the second origin soul's path and constantly pushed it back. Greed's second origin soul didn't dare to touch the sword energy. He knew that his second origin soul would be seriously injured by it, so he could only wait until the sword energy dissipated. Trapped by the mosquito beasts, Greed's eyes revealed a hint of determination. His heart ached, but he immediately touched his bag of holding. He took out a finger-sized piece of sandalwood. The moment it appeared, it released a fragrance. This sandalwood looked very normal, as if it was something that belonged to the mortal world, but Greed's eyes were filled with sadness. "Child, you forced this old man to use a treasure of the celestial world, heaven confusion incense. This old will definitely cut you into pieces." Greed clenched his teeth and raised his left hand. He immediately lit the incense and a blue smoke began to rise from it. This smoke was extremely strange. When it spread out, although it was thin, it immediately formed a cloud. The mosquito beasts were all suddenly trapped in this mist, and at the same time, Greed rushed out from the mosquito herd. He stepped on the smoke and chased after Chen Long. Senior Greed, fellow cultivator Wang Lin, I'll be taking this token. Many thanks. Chen Long laughed. He was already looking at the exit in the distance. Wang Lin sneered as he stared at Chen Long's figure in the distance. His eyes gave off a ghostly light as he said to himself, "Stop." The power of the low-quality celestial spell that could seal the heavens and freeze the earth went forth. A mysterious force immediately filled the abyss. If there was a powerful cultivator here, they would see that the area was filled with invisible threads. These invisible threads immediately wrapped around Chen Long. Chen Long only felt his body stop, and even his origin soul stopped. Also, the celestial spiritual energy inside his body stopped moving as if it was frozen solid. At this instant, he became completely motionless, and the token fell from his hand. Greed was extremely joyous as the smoke he released surrounded Chen Long. He charged directly at the token. Just at this moment, Wang Lin moved. Ji's celestial sword was under Wang Lin's feet, and they rushed out. The speed of the celestial sword was too fast, so fast that even Greed's expression changed. Wang Lin, you aren't qualified to rob treasures from this old man. Greed was very close to the token. It looked like he only needed to extend his hand to reach the token. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he softly said, "Stop." Greed paused for a moment. Although he immediately returned to normal and all the threads that had wrapped around him broke, with the help of the celestial sword, Wang Lin immediately closed in. In front of Greed's bulging eyes, Wang Lin took the token and swept past Greed. "Wang Lin! You dare to steal this old man's things?" Greed's eyes were bloodshot as he roared and rushed out. Chen Long had already recovered, and his expression was gloomy. Surrounded by the smoke, his hand formed a seal. He wanted to break through, but the smoke blocked his path and he couldn't escape. The three of them were very close to the exit in the Fire Demon country. Wang Lin was very close to the exit thanks to Ju Yi's speed. At this moment, the sunlight from the outside could be seen. Greed almost went crazy. As he let out a roar, he slapped his bag of holding and a giant furnace flew out. This furnace was about as big as a person and was completely black. There were countless beast-shaped runes on the furnace, and it gave off a desolate aura. Greed shouted, "Revert the universe, reverse the heavens and earth." The furnace shook and a ray of black light shot out. The black light quickly covered the heavens and earth. At this moment, it was as if the heavens and earth had reversed positions. The heavens became the earth. The earth became the heavens. Wang Lin's, Chen Long's, and Greed's positions suddenly reversed. Originally, Wang Lin was in front, but now he was where Chen Long was, surrounded by the smoke. As for Chen Long, he appeared where Wang Lin was. He was startled for a moment and was scared out of his wits. Without a word, he charged toward the exit. He was afraid. He didn't expect this Greed to have such incredible magical treasures. This treasure was simply too strong. It could reverse the universe. At the moment he switched positions with Wang Lin, he felt a divine power. Compared to that divine power, he was simply too insignificant. This Greed is indeed worthy of being someone from Master's generation. Although his cultivation level is far inferior to Master's, there must be something special about him if he caught Master's attention. He didn't know that Greed never went anywhere without treasures. Over the countless years, Greed had obtained enough treasures to rival any celestial palace. However, a lot of the treasures he obtained were things he couldn't even use himself, and he was extremely cautious because he was afraid of others stealing from him. Whenever he felt like something was wrong, he would immediately run away. Greed breathed heavily and suddenly turned his head. He stared at Wang Lin, who was trapped in the smoke, and closed in with a grin. Wang Lin sucked in a breath of cold air and stared at the furnace. There was a mysterious light in his eyes. He recognized that furnace. Without hesitation, he put the token inside his bag of holding. The celestial sword under his feet hummed and Ju Yi's divine sense message entered his mind. What a powerful treasure! Wang Lin, keep yourself safe. Ju Yi's celestial sword flashed and a ray of sword energy flew out. The sword energy surrounded the sword and the celestial sword began to spin. The smoke surrounding them immediately began to swell, and then Ju Yi shouted, "Open!" With a bang, an opening appeared in the smoke. The celestial sword rushed out. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he rushed out as well. This person's cultivation is ordinary, but his treasures are mysterious. Just how did a person like this obtain so many magical treasures? After Ju Yi rushed out, his celestial sword stabbed toward Greed. Greed's eyes lit up brightly. He retreated and once again slapped his bag of holding. This action not only caused Ju Yi to pause, it even made Wang Lin's heart skip a beat. Wang Lin, this old man has to thank Sichu Nan. If not for him, how could I have been forced to stay at the waste planet of Suzaku for tens of thousands of years? If it wasn't for those tens of thousands of years, I couldn't have understood a lot of these treasures I couldn't use before. As Greed raised his right hand, a screen appeared in his right hand. After throwing the screen, it immediately grew to 100 feet wide. There was an ink painting of a landscape with mountains on the screen. Mist filled the mountains, making it give off the aura of a celestial world. This old man wasn't able to find the celestial realm's mountain and river painting, but I found an imprint of it on this screen. Gather for me. As Greed shouted, a large suction force came from the screen. Ju Yi's figure appeared from the celestial sword. He had a serious expression, and his right hand pointed forward. Without any hesitation, he released one of the two remaining life sword energies. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy and he immediately activated Ling Qianho's sword energy inside his body. The sword energy opened a path through the pressure as he rushed down. Behind him, Greed's second origin soul, which was covered in countless lightning bolts, chased slowly after Wang Lin. With the sword energy making a path, Wang Lin used all of his speed and moved like a meteor toward the bottom. He didn't bother with Ju Yi right now because although Greed had a lot of treasures, Ju Yi wouldn't be defeated easily. What he needed to do now was open as much distance as possible to stall for time until Ju Yi arrived. This Greed has too many treasures. I don't know how many more strange treasures he has in that bag of his. Even if Senior Ju Yi wins, I'm afraid it will take some time. Wang Lin frowned. The sword energy continued to break the resistance as he rushed downward. Behind him, Greed's second origin soul chased closely after. This second origin soul was like a small person made of crystal. Black lightning bolts surrounded this small person. The resistance coming from below was broken by the balls of lightning. His eyes glowed as he stared at Wang Lin. His right hand formed a seal and he slapped his palm down. 9 of the balls of lightning around him immediately lined up like a string of beads. It pierced through the resistance like a fierce arrow and flew directly at Wang Lin. Thunder! Wang Lin's head suddenly turned around and he slapped his bag of holding. The god-slaying war chariot immediately flew out. It quickly formed a ball of lightning in the air. The ball quickly expanded and turned into a mighty thunder beast. The thunder beast was a celestial thunder beast. After it appeared, it snorted out 2 strands of green gas. Its eyes contained lightning. Under its gaze, not only did the 9 balls of thunder not slow down, they flew even faster. The thunder beast opened its mouth and let out a roar. The 9 balls of thunder suddenly trembled, and then, instead of going to Wang Lin, they flew toward the thunder beast and were instantly swallowed by it. Greed's second origin soul's eyes immediately lit up. He moved his body and all the black thunder around him rained down on Wang Lin and the thunder beast. At the same time, the second origin soul slapped his forehead. A hammer covered in lighting immediately appeared. He grabbed the hammer and slammed it down. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The thunderous roar of thunder exploded forth as lighting shot out from the hammer. The lightning moved like a dragon that was clawing toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he slapped his bag of holding, taking out the celestial brush. He took a deep breath and immediately drew in front of him. A 5-stroke symbol suddenly appeared and he inserted 5 portions of his origin soul into it. The golden symbol released a blinding light. After it appeared, it shined like the sun. At the moment the dragon arrived, the 2 sides collided in the air. A loud bang echoed in the abyss, causing a large amount of rocks to fall from the cliff. Those rocks were pushed upward by the resistance force. For this instant, even the resistance force coming from below slowed for a moment. The symbol split into 5 pieces of divine sense and returned to Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin's body staggered and his face became pale. Without pause, he flew down again. The lightning dragon didn't change at all, but it stayed in the air completely motionless. When the resistance force pushed against it, countless cracks appeared on it and it collapsed. As for the thunder beast, when the balls of thunder arrived, it opened its mouth and happily ate 1 ball of thunder every time it opened its mouth. Even the collapsing lightning dragon was devoured by the thunder beast as it passed by. Then it looked at Greed's second origin soul with a provoking gaze before following Wang Lin. Greed's second origin soul's eyes were filled with cold intent and he said, in a hoarse voice, "Damn beast." He waved the thunder hammer in his hand and it began to glow red. He quickly chased after Wang Lin as the red light on the hammer became stronger and stronger. Finally, the hammer started releasing a blood-colored light. As Wang Lin was escaping, he suddenly felt powerful thunder behind him, causing his even hair to tingle. The thunder beast also became serious. It looked back and let out low growls. What spirit exactly is Greed's second origin soul? Wang Lin's expression was gloomy. The resistance was getting stronger, but Ling Qianho's sword energy was very strong. Wang Lin wasn't affected at all with the sword energy opening the path. He moved like lightning as he rushed downward. Greed's second origin soul chased closely after Wang Lin. The distance between them constantly changed as they charged toward the bottom. However, the closer they got to the bottom, the stronger the resistance became. In the end, their speed slowed down. Greed's second origin soul slowly said, "Celestial destroying thunder." He waved the hammer in his hand and the red light on the hammer flew out as a ray of lightning. It didn't charge toward Wang Lin or the thunder beast but instead drilled into the cliff of the abyss. Wang Lin's pupils suddenly shrank and he suddenly felt a sense of crisis. At this moment, he grabbed the thunder beast without any hesitation and put it back into his bag. All of the life seals gathered on his body, and at the same time, he took out a large amount of blood jades. He crushed them all. These blood jades came from Yao Shishue. Now that he crushed them, the thick, blood-colored light immediately surrounded him, forming layers and layers of protection. Almost at the moment Wang Lin finished all of this, a flash of red light came from the side of the cliff. Red dots suddenly appeared on the cliff's surface. These dots became larger and faster at the same time. Then the dots suddenly burst out from the wall and formed a net of red lightning. The red lightning around Wang Lin immediately pierced through the shield of bloodlight, creating loud bangs. Some even reached Wang Lin and were stopped by the life seals. Wang Lin's expression became even more gloomy. He slapped his bag of holding and the 3 swords appeared. After infusing Ling Qianho's sword energy into them, Wang Lin pointed at Greed's second origin soul and the swords charged toward Greed's second origin soul. "Since you want to fight, let's fight." Wang Lin no longer tried to escape. Although this was very close to the abyss, the resistance here was simply too big, so it would be difficult to pass. Adding on how vicious this second origin soul was, Wang Lin was angered. The 3 sword formed a formation and charged out. The mouse, pig, and sheep evil spirits emerged and fused with Ling Qianho's sword energy. They pierced through the lightning net and gave off thick sword energy as they stabbed toward Greed's second origin soul. Greed's second origin soul shined brightly and its eyes became serious. He slammed the hammer in the air and then lightning dragons appeared and started circling around him. When the 3 swords arrived, the 3 evil spirits flew out and began fighting with the lightning dragons. The 3 swords circled around and suddenly stabbed forth. However, they were blocked by the lightning dragons and weren't able to stab into the second origin soul. If Ling Qianho's sword energy wasn't there, Greed's second origin soul wouldn't care so much. However, the sword energies inside the swords made him very cautious, as he couldn't allow the sword energies to enter his body. He decided to constantly use the lightning dragons to weaken the sword energies. A mark gradually appeared between the eyebrows of Greed's second origin soul as he waved the thunder hammer. This mark was very deep and flashed slowly. Wang Lin was covered by the blood light. Without Ling Qianho's sword energy, he could feel the powerful resistance force below him. He flew upward, borrowing the resistance force from the tide abyss. He moved at a speed several times faster than before as he flew through the lightning net and charged straight at the second origin soul. The majority of the blood light around him had already dissipated. He had to constantly crush blood jades to continue protecting himself. If there was no blood light to act as a shield, he would be facing a life and death trial inside this lightning net even if he used 1 million life seals. Back then, the grey-robed Allseer said that the defense of the life seals was extremely powerful, and this is true when facing ordinary spells. However, when facing someone stronger than me, it simply won't be enough. Either the celestial slaughter art is imperfect, or the grey-robed Allseer deceived me. He immediately saw the mark between Greed's second origin soul's eyebrows. That is the seal Greed uses to control the second origin soul. I need to smash it. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The lightning net was too dense and it closed in as he moved, making the net even more powerful. However, at this moment, Greed's second origin soul's eyes became cold and the lightning net around Wang Lin immediately contracted. Countless rays of lightning began to gather toward Wang Lin. At this moment, Wang Lin gave up on his defense. His eyes became red and he shouted, "Very well, either I kill you, or I die today." The three swords moved even faster. It was as if they felt Wang Lin's killing intent. Ling Qianho's sword energy spread out from the three swords. "Stop!" A loud roar came from Wang Lin. At this moment, the celestial spell, Stop, was used by Wang Lin at full power. Greed's second origin soul's arms suddenly paused. Wang Lin's eyes glowed brightly and he shouted, "Kill!" In an instant, the three swords' auras reached their peaks and moved through the lightning dragons. All three swords stabbed into Greed's second origin soul and pierced his body. Ling Qianho's sword energy charged into Greed's second origin soul without any hesitation and began to rampage inside his spirit body. Greed's second origin soul's body trembled, and the seal between his eyebrows flickered like crazy. The seal spread all over his body, trying to resist this destructive force. At this moment, the lightning net contracting toward Wang Lin suddenly collapsed. Wang Lin rushed out and slapped his bag of holding. The devilish amour immediately appeared over his body. The devilish energy spread out and he suddenly raised his finger. The demonic finger was used, and the celestial spiritual energy inside his body transformed. At the same time, Wang Lin pointed again, and the underworld finger was used. The moment the underworld finger appeared, the underworld river appeared as well and charged out along with the underworld finger. Wang Lin closed in with the help of the two spells. His speed increased with the help of the resistance force. Wang Lin arrived next to Greed's second origin soul and pressed the two spells into him. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot as he shouted, "Explode for me!" The seal between Greed's second origin soul's eyebrows flashed violently, trying to return back to normal. However, Wang Lin's two spells landed another fatal blow, so the seal collapsed. Along with the seal, the body of Greed's second origin soul also began to collapse. Countless cracks appeared on its crystal body. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's expression changed. He recalled the three swords and quickly retreated. A desolate aura spread out like crazy from the cracks of the second origin soul, and there was an unimaginable aura leaking out from the cracks. It was the aura of a beast. The three evil spirits on the three swords immediately trembled. At the abyss exit, Greed, who was fighting with Ju Yi, trembled violently and coughed out a mouthful of blood. He looked below him with an aghast expression. This? Greed's second origin soul exploded with a bang, but at the moment it collapsed, a green light shot out from between its eyebrows. A thick, desolate aura spread out from the green light. The moment the green light appeared, it turned into a green dragon. Lightning circulated all over this dragon. It was extremely terrifying. This was an ancient thunder dragon, and it was very famous. Back then, when Greed was only at the foundation establishment stage, he fell down a cliff and found a baby thunder dragon. He carefully hid it, and when he encountered danger, the aura from the thunder dragon would protect its master. Later, greed brought a wasted magical treasure in an ordinary city. However, after some research, it turned out that this treasure wasn't a waste but an ancient magical devil. Greed used it to brand and seal the Thunder Dragon so that it could never awaken and remain under his control. It wasn't until he reached the Ascendant stage that he refined it into his second Orion soul. However, he didn't dare to stimulate it too much, lest it awaken and escape from his control. This green dragon opened its eyes and let out a real dragon roar. At this moment, the sky changed color and the clouds gathered. Even the resistance from the tide abyss was pushed away. Wang Lin revealed a bitter smile. Without any hesitation, he borrowed the resistance force to push himself back up and stayed far away from this green dragon. Greed. Greed. This person is really full of treasures, even his second origin soul is a dragon. The furnace that Tu Sai, 1. The ancient god that Wang Lin got his inheritance from, refined back then also landed in his hands. His cultivation level is also high, so he can be considered someone who has the heaven's own luck. Wang Lin bitterly smiled. He didn't know that back when Greed was only 8 and hadn't even started cultivating, he found a 500-year-old Solomon's seal, 1. It's a type of plant, while playing. He took it home and ate it after breaking it. Not only was he not killed by the surge of energy inside it, but it laid his foundation as a cultivator. As the green dragon let out a roar, its cold eyes swept the area and landed on Wang Lin. The hatred from before was still there. Although it had just awakened, it still remembered what happened. Its body turned into a ray of green light and charged directly at Wang Lin. After charging into the bottom of the tide abyss, Wang Lin saw the bottomless pit at the center. Suction force was coming from the hole and it was covered in mist. The dragon's roar and the fishy smell from its mouth came from behind him. Wang Lin let out a bitter smile as he stared at the bottomless pit. He clenched his teeth and suddenly jumped into the pit. At this moment, the green dragon rushed over while roaring. The dragon had just awakened, so its mind was still in a state of chaos. It was completely acting on instinct, and when it saw Wang Lin jump into the pit, it also rushed in without any hesitation. The suction force here was very different from outside, it was much stronger. This wasn't Wang Lin's first time in here, so he knew this. After jumping into the pit, he activated the celestial spiritual energy inside his body and stayed close to the side of the cliff. However, the green dragon didn't know. After it jumped into the pit, it immediately became aware of the suction and began to struggle. Lightning bolts shot from its body, and bolts of lightning as big as a bucket landed on the cliff. Large amounts of rocks were blown off from the sides of the pit. The deeper inside the pit, the stronger the suction force became. The green dragon struggled as the lightning around him resisted the suction force. Just as it was about to charge out, its head suddenly turned and saw Wang Lin, who was carefully controlling his speed along the wall below it. The dragon suddenly let out a roar. It gave up on escaping and charged straight at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression became even more gloomy and he secretly cursed. This dragon didn't even know the danger it was facing. It felt the incredible suction force and still didn't run. Instead, after it saw Wang Lin, it gave up the opportunity to leave. There is this much hatred. Wang Lin stopped the celestial spiritual energy inside his body and was immediately pulled by the suction. He quickly sank, causing the green dragon to miss, and then it chased after Wang Lin. One person and one dragon went down the pit and gradually went deeper and deeper. Wang Lin immediately became aware that the suction coming from the bottom was becoming stronger, as if a storm was brewing. A roar came from behind Wang Lin as the green dragon opened its mouth. A giant ball of lightning came out and shot straight at Wang Lin. The ball of lightning moved with the might of an army and smashed toward Wang Lin like divine retribution. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and he was about to dodge. However, the incoming ball of lightning suddenly paused before moving out of its original flight path and went slightly down. Wang Lin's expression changed, and he immediately felt an unimaginable suction force coming from below him. At this moment, he no longer hesitated. He slapped his bag of holding and the three swords flew out. They formed a formation and stabbed into the wall, reinforcing each other. Wang Lin's hand tightly gripped onto a sword. At the instant he grabbed onto the sword, the suction from below him suddenly erupted. The first thing to change directions was the ball of lightning. It went straight down and was sucked into the depths of the pit. The ball of lightning gave off light that lit up to the lower part of this pit. Wang Lin looked down and only saw a bottomless pit. Soon, the light faded and the ball of lightning disappeared. The ancient thunder dragon was startled, and for the first time, fear appeared in its eyes. It no longer tried to swallow Wang Lin but struggled to fly upwards. It was afraid. In its ancient memory inheritance, it had seen something similar before. It let out a fierce roar and lightning covered its body. It managed to resist some of the suction force around it and flew up 30 feet. Want to run? Wang Lin's eyes became cold. If it wasn't for the thunder dragon, how could he be forced to come inside here? If it wasn't for the thunder dragon naively chasing him down the pit, he would have already left. Now, at this distance, it was simply impossible for Wang Lin to rush out. Stop for me. Wang Lin let out a roar as the celestial spiritual energy inside his body surged and activated the celestial stop spell. If it was in the past, even if the thunder dragon was stopped, it would be only for an instant and it wouldn't care. However, right now it was completely different. The thunder dragon's body paused for a moment. It let out an unwilling roar and was pulled down by the huge suction force for more than 100 feet. You won't be able to run. Wang Lin's eyes become cold. His body was being pulled down by the suction force. As he rapidly sank, the 3 swords that were inside the wall were dragged down as well, creating 3 deep cuts in the wall. Stop! Wang Lin activated the spell again. The thunder dragon struggled and the lightning flickered like crazy. It was trying to fly back up. If it wasn't for Wang Lin, it really could have rushed back out. However, every time it rushed up a bit, Wang Lin would immediately stop it. The thunder dragon was surrounded by the suction force, so no matter how much it struggled, it was useless. Due to the suction force, all of the attacks it threw at Wang Lin couldn't even get near him before they were pulled into the pit. It could only stare at Wang Lin while it despaired and was pulled into the pit. Just at this moment, the suction force suddenly increased. This suction force was several times stronger than before and pulled like crazy. Wang Lin felt like his arms were going to be torn off, but he clung to the sword. The 3 swords grinded against the wall, leaving behind deep cuts. However, this suction force was too great, so the buffer created by the 3 swords was rapidly dissipating. Sensing the crisis, Wang Lin clenched his teeth and immediately sent a part of his divine sense into his bag of holding. The celestial sword and half-moon blade immediately flew out. They stabbed into the wall under Wang Lin's feet. Wang Lin stood on the 2 swords and rapidly sank. Sounds of friction echoed in the pit as 5 deep cuts were dragged down the wall along with Wang Lin. Looking at the thunder dragon now, even though it was struggling, it still sank like a meteor. It couldn't even keep its shape, it had been stretched into a long stream of green gas. There were faint green lights coming from the green gas. The green gas had been sucked deep into the pit, and it faintly lit up the surroundings. Go down, that's strange, female voice came from Wang Lin's bag into his mind again. Wang Lin's expression was extremely gloomy as he looked down, but his expression changed. Borrowing the light from the green gas, he could vaguely see a shadow sticking out horizontally. At this moment, the green light illuminated this shadow. Wang Lin was able to see that it was a large rock sticking out from the wall. This rock was about 100 feet wide, and there was a transfer array on it. Before Wang Lin could take a closer look, the green light weakened. Without the light, this large rock retreated back into the darkness. Transfer array. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Unfortunately, he couldn't spread out his divine sense, or else he could have seen everything clearly. Wang Lin suddenly felt that the celestial sword was gone from under his feet, and shortly after, the half-moon blade did the same. There is a crack. Wang Lin immediately felt ecstasy, and without any hesitation, he swung toward the wall. His body immediately entered the hole in the wall. As expected, there was a 10-foot crack in the wall, and Wang Lin quickly entered it. After entering, he immediately retrieved the 3 swords, the celestial sword, and the half-moon blade as fast as possible. When the Thunder Dragon soul that had already turned into green gas saw Wang Lin enter the crack, it immediately began to struggle. As the green gas churned, it condensed into a dragon once more. It let out a roar and rushed toward the crack Wang Lin was in. This time it didn't want to devour Wang Lin, it wanted to enter the crack to avoid the suction force. It activated all the thunder energy in its body as it charged toward the crack like crazy. However, the suction force was too powerful, so it was almost impossible for it to reach the crack. The Thunder Dragon revealed a decisive gaze, then its body suddenly split in half. The bottom half was sucked deep into the pit, while the upper half used that moment to rush toward the crack. Wang Lin's eyes became cold. Just as he felt relief inside the crack, he saw the Thunder Dragon coming over. At this moment, all he needed was one stop spell and it would make the Thunder Dragon despair as it was sucked away by the suction force. The Thunder Dragon was obviously aware of this, so it opened its mouth to spit out a ball of lightning. If it was successful in spitting it out, Wang Lin would naturally have no place to dodge. Everything would depend on who was faster in activating their spell between this dragon and human. However, Wang Lin had other plans. He personally saw the dragon give up half its body, and more than half of its current power was being used to resist the suction force. It could be said that right now was the Thunder Dragon's weakest moment. Wang Lin clenched his teeth, and without any hesitation he closed his eyes and his origin soul flew out. Just as this Thunder Dragon entered the crack and was about to spit out the ball of lightning, Wang Lin's origin soul devoured the Thunder Dragon. Wang Lin was once an soul devourer that could devour every soul in the world. However, as his cultivation level increased, he gradually stopped using this technique. At this moment, his origin soul expanded greatly. The Thunder Dragon was completely stunned when Wang Lin devoured it. After devouring the ancient Thunder Dragon soul, Wang Lin's origin soul immediately returned to his body. At this moment, there was a powerful explosion inside his soul. Even with only half of its spirit body, the power of the ancient Thunder Dragon was still unimaginable. After Wang Lin devoured it, he activated the Soul Devourer's spell to quickly absorb it. Bursts of lightning moved inside and outside of Wang Lin's origin soul, displaying the might of thunder and lightning. It even penetrated into his flesh and bones. The suction force didn't have much effect inside the crack, so Wang Lin put all his attention into absorbing the Thunder Dragon. His origin soul was constantly growing. This wasn't a growth in quantity but in quality. Wang Lin's origin was surrounded by lighting. There was a long, ancient Thunder Dragon extending inside his origin soul like veins. This Thunder Dragon's expression was extremely painful, and there was even trace of ferocity on its face. Strands of branches extended from the Thunder Dragon toward all corners of Wang Lin's origin soul. The power of the Thunder Dragon was changing Wang Lin's origin soul in a mysterious way. Even people like the All-Seer wouldn't dare to devour an ancient Thunder Dragon. This was because this Thunder Dragon wasn't like any other ancient beast. Rumor had it that the ancient Thunder Dragons were born from thunder and were the darlings of the heavens. There was even a period of time where they controlled the power of thunder for the heavens. Devouring this ancient Thunder Dragon was the same as devouring a sky filled with thunder. How could a cultivator's origin soul withstand this kind of thunder? However, the other side of Peril was endless opportunity. Wang Lin's origin soul was surrounded by the lightning from the Thunder Dragon, and a large amount of thunder gathered in Wang Lin's body. As the rumbling continued, a trace of thunder appeared in Wang Lin's origin soul. His origin was in an incredible state, and it was going an earth-shaking change. This change perhaps wouldn't improve his cultivation, but it would open up endless paths for Wang Lin in the future. An origin soul that contained thunder. Even the All-Seer had never seen a cultivator that had managed to achieve this. The Thunder Dragon inside Wang Lin's origin soul struggled intensely, affecting Wang Lin's origin soul. It hadn't given in yet, and it launched a counterattack. Thanks you for watching. This video will end here.